Hey, I just wanted to share a new project that I'm doing for no other reason than it's a personal project. About a month ago, we went camping, and as we were driving to the location, I was just admiring the landscape here in Oregon, hillsides, lots of trees, water. And I had sketched this later that day at the campsite in the cabin. We actually rented a cabin and drew most of this, really kind of a gesture drawing using a pen. I went in later with a pencil and just put in some little details to enhance it and didn't think much about it. And the other day I was looking at this again and thinking about, could I turn this into a piece of artwork? And that's where I decided to add more context. So I had created this sketch, and if we kind of align it with our underline sketch here, you can see it's kind of framing a composition of a hiker overlooking a valley and the water as it flows into a lake. And I kind of like this. I thought there's something to it. So it's at this point that I'll start refining it and tightening up my sketch. That's usually where I use a mechanical pencil. And if I go ahead and drop this over the top, you can see if I lift this up a little bit, it's just a tighter drawing of the same sketch that's below it. And this will serve as kind of a guide to build my vector artwork. Let's go ahead and slide a piece of paper in here just so we don't get the bottom line sketch. So that's how this drawing looks. And I'll use this to build my vector artwork once I scan it in. If we drop this overlay down, you can see the character. I kind of worked him out, refined some of the details, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. You can see on the side here, my original sketch had, if I bring this over, you can see my original sketch had a bird on his head. I don't know why I like doing that. I like birds. So I was kind of experimenting with what birds, how am I going to handle it. Ended up going with this guy here, but it's too big. I drew him bigger. He'll be smaller, but I'll scan him in, compose everything in Photoshop. But this is usually how I start a project like this. So I'm going to be moving forward and working out all the vector artwork and colorizing it. Still not completely sure about the edge. I'm kind of keeping a square proportion just so it work well on social media, but still not sure if that's going to be a hard edge or if I'll diffuse the edge. So the only thing that will be hard edge completely all the way around will probably just be the figure. Everything else will kind of diffuse on the edge is what I'm thinking, but I'm not completely sure until I actually check it out and see what that looks like and make a decision at that point. But this is usually the process I use on the analog end of things to start a digital illustration. I'll scan this in, compose it in Photoshop, and then I'll start building out my vector artwork inside of Illustrator.